Welcome everybody to the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. Your home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. What's up, Soto? Happy
What's
Sunday, my
up,
boy.
my guy?
What's good, kid?
Not much. It's been
Mm.
a hectic weekend, family
Yeah, I
stuff.
didn't realize like yesterday was headed with the Met game, and I was like, even coming back, we went to the bar after the game. I was like, this is a lot. They had a live band down, down the street. I was like, this ass. I'm going home. I'm playing Call of Duty. So
What we should do later on today.
yes, before getting to the finals. Let's see what you got. Let's see how you prepped over there. You got the blue shirt, nice blue shirt today. Got to clean up the beard a little bit. I've been telling you to try and grow the beard out, but you clean up a little bit, clean up nice.
Nah, if I grow up the beard, I look mad scruffy and
It's
stuff, and
okay,
I'm
man.
like,
Just clean up here. You're good to go. You got Law and Order in the background, so you're in your. Is that on Ion or is that on USA?
that's a very good question.
Two of which
Oh
both.
no, that's on USA.
Okay, so this says I don't know because Ion. I think Ion had SmackDown for a little while.
Right.
It was UPN. Probably both.
Yeah,
So Ion had wrestling at one
You
point.
remember when Raw was on Spike TV?
Yeah, bro, Raw was so fire on Spike, and they let a lot of stuff go that USA didn't allow.
Yeah, Spike TV was like that was the shit. Like they had so many good shows.
Remember Impact on the random Thursday nights at 11? We got a brand new live episode of Impact.
Yup.
Live episode. It's 11 o'clock. Who's at the arena at 11 o'clock at
I
night
don't
on a
know, but
Thursday?
I was watching that.
Oh, those were the days. I was on with my boy Miguel. He was like, "Yo, what's up with your boy Kurt?" I was like, "You mean your boy? Which one? There's Kurt Angle, and then there's Perk Angle. Perk
Freaking
Angle is the one that everybody loved because he was so reckless, but no one realized he was doing that on drugs, like when he was dealing with his
he was
demons.
a menace.
Yo, fighting Abyss and Hardy.
Complete
Oh
menace.
man, I miss Kurt. Kurt's one of the greatest.
Yeah, man.
So, but you know what's great? Talking about some good old fashioned wrestling. So let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank is right around the way.
It is. It is, and we'll speak on that in just a few. But one of the highlighting moments of the week was the new undisputed WWE Universal Championship revealed on SmackDown. What'd you think of the look?
So I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
Um to me it kind of brings back oh, it's kind of like a blue in a way. I don't know. Um I I want them to go back to um the old like the undisputed championship.
Like an old design, kind of.
Yeah, because they did that
Uh-huh.
with the world heavyweight. It looks like a modernized
World heavyweight.
version
Yeah.
of what the WCW championship was, and
It,
we can all agree that that belt is probably one of the best belts ever made.
I mean, I like it. Yeah. I
So,
mean, the world heavyweight, yeah, the old world heavyweight, and then this new one isn't that bad looking. Like, I like it because it's actually new. It's not just a big old WWE logo,
yeah,
So that's why, when it was revealed, I was kind of hyped, and then once I saw it, so for those who didn't see it, so the WWE Championship is like mostly black. Then the Universal was mostly blue.
yeah.
This one is just the same design, but it's mostly gold. Um, and I thought, I don't know, it was a bit lazy on their part. I think they should have definitely came up with like a new version. And you could have like picked ideas from old titles or picked ideas from old designs and incorporated it into a new one. But yeah, it's pretty much the same title, just all gold. I mean, I think the good thing is that the fact that Roman is not going to be carrying both titles, it's just this one title, and now it's going to make the world heavyweight that much more valuable.
Yeah. Okay,
Because
you're not competing for both now. It's
right,
just one belt.
as long as Roman was holding two, it was putting a cap on that world heavyweight. Now that Roman is down to having one belt, right? Um, it doesn't look like the world heavyweight is a participation title. Now it looks like just the opposite. I mean, obviously this title has more value than the world heavyweight, but with Seth Rollins being a fighting champion that he is, he can, raise the value of the world heavyweight champion. Kind of similar to like what Gunther did with the IC title.
What
You
Cena
know,
did with the U.S. years back.
yeah,
So it's a. I just wish it was more like the old undisputed championship. Even though it comes off like it does look like it a little bit, but it's just it's just more modernized, which is okay. I don't mind diamonds and gems and whatnot. Like that's dope. It's cool. It makes you want to go buy one. But I want them to go back to what they were before. Pay some homage to the old belts that were really good. We'll get to a point where we'll see the wing belt come back and like some kind
hopefully,
of like a modernized look. And the wing belt, another one.
hopefully,
You could debate. Like, we could have a whole episode debating best belts of the best heavyweight, the best undisputed, whatever it is. The wing belt was one of the best belts ever. I think they were the most sold belt.
yeah.
So it's like but it's dope. It's nice. This one's definitely they've gotten better over the years. They've stopped being lazy when it comes to certain things. So that's dope to have. It's dope
Yeah,
to
now
see.
now what they need to change is probably the tag titles because those shits are ugly. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been saying that for a while, but
yeah. They could use an adjustment.
yeah, which they will. I mean, and then now it's first. I think it's finding a way to split the titles or kind of do the same thing that happened to Roman. So either Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think they were drafted to SmackDown. I want to say.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. And then
Either way,
introducing.
they'll fly back and forth some at
Yeah,
some point. That's how it's always like that.
yeah. So right after the revelation of the new undisputed WWE Universal Championship, we had a masterful segment
It
in
was only a
which,
matter of time,
yeah,
and we had to
and
figure it out when was it going to happen. But then it ended up happening at Night of Champions, and then now it's officially, you know, complete.
yeah. I mean, listen, I always thought it was going to be Jay. I still feel like somehow this whole storyline still mainly revolves around Jay. Um, but just the fact that Jimmy came down there to confront Roman and would not let Roman push him around, and still you have Jay kind of like confused, like
What
he
do I
wants,
do?
yeah, exactly, like he wants the situation to be settled as he did try. um but it's like he wasn't fully committed on what side he was going to be on. Like, yes, Jimmy is his brother, but then again, he's been loyal to Roman for God knows how long. And then you had Solo, who Solo
Is
said,
literally Solo's just doing solo things.
yeah, for a quick second, Solo did say, he acknowledged the tribal chief, but then at the same time said, these two right here, they're my brothers. And I thought, all right, I think it's I kind of fell for it, but then again, I'm like, I feel like there has to be, like, down the road, a bigger moment in which Solo betrays Roman. And I was like, the time isn't now. I feel like you have to stretch out the storyline. And then
It's
sure,
we'll find out come SummerSlam. That then you'll see even more layers. This is probably the world's biggest onion that we've ever seen. 1,001 layers being unraveled bit by bit. Like it's just like, oh well, it gets better and better every day.
yeah. And then Jimmy try to hug things out with Roman, try to settle it. They don't want to fight anymore. And as they hugged, Roman picks up the mic and says no. All of a sudden, Solo hit Jimmy with the spike, and they just Solo, Paul Heyman, and Roman just walked off, while Jay is tending to Jimmy. And as Roman is walking up the ramp, you can hear him say Jay's going to do what he always does, and that's fall in line. And that's, I think,
Some powerful words.
powerful words, but Roman's mistake thinking that Jay is going to fall in line, because he's not. Jay is going to protect his brother. They've been at each other's side from the hip since they were born, their whole WWE or wrestling careers, and nothing
This
indicates.
this isn't no Edge and Christian brotherhood. This isn't the Dudley Boys brother. This is family ties. Like,
Yeah,
and now like I saw a meme on Beach Report. They put WWE Bloodline Civil War as just Jay. It's just Jimmy and Roman, and it's Roman, Paul Heyman, and Solo. And
yeah,
then it's
like the
just
Avengers
Jimmy,
poster.
Jay, and then Rikishi. I was like, yo,
Oh yeah, like the Avengers poster.
yeah.
I mean, listen, Rikishi did tweet out something very interesting that might, it kind of raised some eyebrows because they might use him in the storyline.
So I said that
And
for a
then yeah,
very long
and you
time.
said that for a while.
At some point, whatever's gonna happen, Rikishi gets involved, and then now you go handle your uncle now. Like that's uncle. That's OG. If it wasn't Rikishi, you wouldn't even be in the WWE right now. Between you and your brother, God rest his soul. No, but no, God rest his soul, Rosie. But let's not forget that Rikishi's value that in its entirety, like it's vital. It's big. So, and you know what happens next, right? Because Pops isn't around. Um, everybody's in there. You can't bring random people from Impact and everybody else. And then the youngest one, I forgot his name, Fatu. He's with Booker T's um, program, so like he's nowhere near ready to be up to ready to go. So we all know what's gonna happen at this point forward. Now we're gonna end up having The Rock show up as I am the greatest in my family.
Yeah,
I the original chief, the original man over here, because you can't go no Peter Maivia, he's long gone. So it's like, yo, I'm telling you, it's gonna end up with. I thought it'd be this year, but you and Henry made a good point. Dragged it out for a little bit, made it a little longer than what it was. It's been like a 2 year run with the Bloodline.
yeah.
It's gonna
This
end with Rock
to
Roman ending everything. Just so you know, no matter what you do now, you will never be me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because if this storyline has been going on for I think a better part of what 2 years, 3 years around that mark, it's who's to say like this is going to end next year? Now I feel like this is going to be a really really long storyline, and we um we heard Roman talk. I think after the WrestleMania event at the press conference where he's like, "Oh, this is just like the third or fourth inning." And that just tells me, all right, this is going to be a longer storyline than one anticipated because now it's like, all right, now the bloodline's crumbling, right? Then what happens with Solo down the road? So they're gonna have to do a program with Roman and Solo. Then they're gonna revisit Roman with Cody Rhodes, but this time without the bloodline. So that's another chapter into this story. And then, like you just said, everybody's anticipating that Rock Roman matchup whenever that happens. And it kind of really depends on the Rock and his and his schedule and his openings.
Because he
So
said he is available this upcoming year in 2024. He's available. Everything's
yeah,
opened up for him.
and
The
we'll see.
XFL was a great success. So now
Mhm.
that's taken care of. That he can move on with that and smooth transition.
But it,
So
it depends again on his schedule because now he's back into that Fast and Furious franchise,
right.
and
When did they start filming?
not yet,
11.
not yet, not yet,
What are
not
we
yet.
now? Was it 10? Just happened, right?
10 just happened, so 11.
So
No,
whatever.
and here's what's crazy. So we Fast 10 is a trilogy, so we have to wait for 11 and 12, right? And then Vin Diesel already says that once the Fast series ends, there's spin-offs, Hobbs and Shaw.
That's so
So
we need Hobbs and Shaw 2.
so it's like I don't know. It's I wish that this match does happen, but just going
Fast and
back,
Furious 2025. We have
yeah,
more important things to
I
take
don't,
care of.
I don't, I don't, I don't even know, but
These are
um,
your movies. You missed the Fast and Furious. This is your thing.
yeah, and going back to this storyline and Rikishi, you know, after Jimmy attacked Roman Reigns, he said on Twitter, and so it shall be done. Stay in your lane enough. So I was
You
that a
can't talk to
message to
grown. At the end of the day, you can't talk to grown men like that. Grown men. I mean, you can do what you want to do. Just know that the results, the reactions, the results of what you do, there's a price to pay for what you want to do.
yeah,
It's okay. You can talk all that shit, talk it down to people, but at the end of the day, there's still people. There's still grown men nonetheless.
yeah, man. So and then I just feel like with Rikishi saying stay in your lane, and then the fact that this past episode of SmackDown he finishes with Jay's gonna do what he always does, fall in line. I'm like, all right,
Hey man, it's getting real spicy.
yeah. We move on to the Money in the Bank qualifiers.
Cody Rhodes
Uh,
winning it.
who?
Cody's gonna make it. I need Cody to make it.
Uh,
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how they're gonna make it work, but Cody needs to. Cody needs to win this.
I don't know. So we've had a couple of people already qualified for the match. We saw LA Knight defeat Montez Ford. We saw, and that was on SmackDown. We saw Ricochet defeat The Miz, and we saw Nakamura defeat Brunson Reed. To be honest with you, the way the crowd has been reacting to him week in and week out, this is just an early pick because there's still three more matches left to for the men's side. For the men's side, I think it's LA Knight.
Listen, if you're going to do something for LA Knight, the time is now. Because if you're not gonna do it now, then when are you gonna do it?
Because I feel like we saw Cody Rhodes, right? We saw Cody Rhodes challenge again, issue a challenge to Brock Lesnar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I hope it really doesn't happen at Money in the Bank. I hope Cody wins his qualifier, and then in that Money in the Bank match, Brock Lesnar screws Cody Rhodes,
And then have
setting
SummerSlam go down.
exactly setting
Yeah.
up for the trilogy. Um, but listen, I'm surprised Montez Ford. Like, I feel like they kind of messed up the matches here or the matchups because I feel like Montez Ford is somebody who I think deserves a shot into the Money in the Bank. And
Yeah.
Ellen, oh, and you know what? What's crazy? The crowd kind of turned on Montez Ford because
Well,
LA Knight is so
now they're
over.
getting tired. Like, are you gonna turn him heel or are you not gonna turn him heel? Like that's been cheese. I said why it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen now. And you guys were like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, no, it's not happening now. But now the crowd's getting involved, so it's like
I don't know.
okay,
Yeah, it might be what's it called? And the same thing is happening with Bianca, with her little feud with Oscar. So
you got to pick and
hey,
choose somebody. And if they go heel, then it's And I wouldn't mind Bianca going heel. I wouldn't mind seeing the Profits being a heel group, and that works out perfectly fine.
right,
Because Hawkins is great. He's a great two man. Montez Ford is clear cut the star in the group between the two, and Bianca being the female side of everything, she's fantastic. She had one of the better women's runs in a long time. So it's like you could make this a heel group and go. Who's to say that the Hurt Business doesn't pick up them three and make a giant faction?
and they've been rumored to
They need
make
a
a
female
return.
character. So if you go and bring Bianca in with the blood with the Hurt Business, and then you bring in the Street Profits as more pieces,
Right,
that you could do some real damage and have them do their own thing, Bianca do her own thing, and then have her business do their own thing. Three moving parts. But they have to actually commit to the turn though. You can't tease it, not do it. Like that's why everybody started hating on Cena. Like, oh, Cena's going heel. Like, no, he's not gonna go heel, bro. Like, and they got pissed at it. We all got mad. Why don't you turn heel? I was like, well, I'm not gonna turn heel. Like, and that ruined a lot of the push that Cena already had as is, which was crazy. As
right.
much push he had as is. So, but if you go with, the four turns with Bianca and Dawkins is like, you know what? Yeah, I'm with these guys. Let's go. And all right, you have, and how many heel groups do we have in WWE today, like definitive
I think we just need
competition.
a solid heel group, like a big level threat. So reforming the Hurt Business with a female addition, and probably this time you'll add Omos. I mean, they could make some noise.
Lashley, Omos, the Street
Cedric,
Profits.
Sheldon,
Yeah. So Sherry Sullivan and Bianca, that's a really tough group.
yeah,
You know, and if imagine if that was the Wyatt Six, which by the way we haven't heard about Bray Wyatt in forever. We don't know, and we have three to be decided. Who's to say that he might show up? You
yeah. I
know,
mean, right now, if you're really looking at like, see, one of the things that AEW thrives at is, I mean, they have too many of it, but they thrive on it is factions, and factions, they attract audience, right? So you know the WWE has potential to create a faction like the OC. The OC has a lot of potential, but it's been inconsistent when it comes to bookings.
right?
So, um, and I wish in the long run, right? The OC is missing one or maybe two pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have AJ, you have Mia Yang, you have the Good Brothers, right? Like I think one piece that's missing is Finn Balor.
So does Finn actually break off?
I feel like in the long run because um the Judgment Day could introduce, let's say, in the Judgment Day, there's no clear cut leader, but if you take a look at him, I personally would appoint Finn Balor as a leader. I feel like they could introduce a new, new body, a new member, aka JD McDonough, who joins the Judgment Day and then wants to control the Judgment Day, like wants to like lead, which causes friction between him and Finn. That's a storyline that they can do going forward. But yeah, man. Going back to the Money in the Bank qualifiers. So yeah, Ricochet, Nakamura, and LA Knight advances. So then two more matches are scheduled for SmackDown next week, which is Santos Escobar versus Mustafa Ali, in which I think Santos Escobar is going to pick up the victory here because,
You think so?
yeah, for those who don't know, Mustafa Ali is now a member of the NXT brand.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's a free agent. He's a free agent,
He's probably
but
gonna end up going down just to get work.
right.
Yeah.
But his involvement in this past episode of NXT would allow me to believe that he is NXT bound. And then you have Baron Corbin versus Butch, which I believe Butch picks up the victory over Baron Corbin because,
Yeah.
surprise, Baron Corbin is also part of the NXT brand after attacking Carmelo Hayes and posing with the NXT Championship. So
And Corbin's done a great job with doing. Have you seen his cooking stuff on Instagram?
yeah, yeah.
Listen. I think you found a new segue to other things.
I feel
Follow the
like
Jim Ross brand.
I feel like Baron Corbin deserves a shot at a title. I'm not going to say which, but at a title because of all he's done. I
Yeah.
mean, the past 3 or 4 years, it's like he's accepted different roles, which not fault of his own. It hasn't panned out, but maybe go back to the lone wolf persona.
Before he got caught up with all the nonsense that he dealt with.
Yeah. So, and then for the last slot, maybe they can do like a second chance match in which you have like a match where all the losers from the qualifying match into that match, and then like a second chance match.
Oh, so you have five. You have five out of the six competitors, and you go like,
Yes.
or all six get in, and then you go, oh, okay, well these guys will fight
Yeah.
on
So like
SmackDown to get into the Money in the Bank.
right. So like Montez Ford, the Miz, Brunson Reed, and then whoever loses from Santos Escobar and Mustafa Ali, and then Baron Corbin and Butch. So it'll be a fatal five way.
I think that's a good shot to put them in, like to get them into the Montez Ford situation.
Yeah.
Because last we saw Montez Ford in a big match, we like we saw a lot of potential, and we sat there like, yeah, like this could be it. This could be
Yeah,
a chance
and
for this guy to
and
actually
they
be.
were teasing, teasing a singles run for him. So,
Yeah,
uh,
you got to fire off on something. Something
yeah,
has to give.
yeah. For the women's side, we just have, if I'm not mistaken, just only one qualifier, which happened on SmackDown, which we saw Zelina Vega defeat Lacey Evans to advance. So shout out to Selena. She's actually getting an opportunity as a wrestler.
What
During
she
the
did in Puerto
years,
Rico was more than well deserving. Granted, it was an advantage because she's Puerto Rican
I think
in
that
her
gave her.
hometown.
I think that right there, the what happened in Puerto Rico, and the reaction she got there in Puerto Rico, but not only in Puerto Rico, but in social media, it's giving her a boost as a
Give her a
wrestler.
shot. Even if she don't have to
So
win it, just put her in big time situations and let's can she produce?
yeah, agreed. So some more matches announced for qualifiers. So it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville.
Becky's
Z-
winning.
yeah, agreed. Zoe Stark versus Natalia. I have Zoe Stark here.
Yeah, there's no way I've seen like Hall of Famer, and I say it all the time, well credited, well deserved career. You're walking into the Hall of Fame, no, unanimously. Your time is done. Just go ahead and put people over, and that's it.
Yeah. And then plus the program the feud that's happening between Lynch and Zoe Stark. So you're gonna have
Just
to
crash course for Money in the Bank.
exactly. Then you have for next week's SmackDown, you have Bailey versus Mia Yim. I think Bailey
Bailey's
here.
gonna win, but I think it's not gonna. Mia Yim needs a little more credit to what she's been doing.
Right, right. I
This
agree
won't be
with
a
you.
squash match. It might be the best match of the qualifiers.
Yeah. So you have Bailey versus Mia Yim, and then you have Io Sky versus Shotzi. And here I got Io.
Yeah, seeing Io and Bailey involved in the Money in the Bank situation and more layers to the destruction of the group would make a whole
Yeah,
lot more sense.
yeah, and I love you the fact that you brought that up because I love how they're incorporating storylines into this ladder match.
Yeah,
So you have Becky Lynch and Sonya Deville. I mean, excuse
Zoe
me,
Stark.
Zoe Stark, right? And then you have Bailey and Io, and you already know that that's been boiling for
Yeah,
for the
now it's just a
past
matter of time
couple
for
weeks.
something hits the fan.
Yeah. Um. New WWE Women's Tag Team Champions were crowned on Raw. For those who missed it, um, your your girl Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, new tag team champions. Not a lot of people were happy about that.
I don't know why, because this was the game plan for the longest time. And as soon as they paired them together, they said this years ago. We're gonna put after the main event, the first main event run for Rousey, they were gonna put her and Baszler together because her and Baszler are actually best friends and they've wanted to work with each other for the longest time. And now they're finally in a good spot where they can do so. So now it's why would you not want them to work as champs? They're gonna fight every week. They're gonna fight every pay per view, and they're a really good group as a heel group. And it's
Yeah,
gonna end up being destructive where they're gonna fight with each other. They're gonna ruin things, and then they're gonna have their own program at some point. Because I know they said for the longest, after they do their tag team run, they want to fight each other. They want to set up a long feud. I just seen that like an hour ago. I'm like, I mean, we've kind of
I
realized that that's because it's two alphas going at it. It only makes sense. Someone's gonna have to give, and that's when the fight's gonna begin.
yeah. I just hope that they're able to make those tag team champions relevant. And this I think I've been real critical of the tag team champions because it's like the championships because I feel like not every but most of the champions that were crowned, I think they was just put together. No, there's actual history with Baszler and Ronda Rousey, so it
It
makes
goes all the
sense.
way back to the what was the big show? What was the big show on HBO? They turned into a movie.
Entourage,
Entourage.
entourage.
If you watch Entourage and watch the movie where Turtle is fucking about to, I want to take Runner on the date. You know who's in the background of that?
Oh yeah,
Shayna Baszler sitting back there.
yeah, Shayna
They've been
Baszler.
around each other for that long. I think it was 2014. They've been around for that long. and then Bader's the first one to win after MMA, and then Rousey after Holly Holm beat the absolute piss out of her.
Yeah.
She made her move to WWE. Has been great, for what she's been doing. And ever since then, like Bader's is the one that got Rousey in. Like there's a lot of heavy ties, a lot of layers between them two. So it makes perfect sense for them to go ahead, hey, like we're gonna do this and then we're gonna do that. And then when we're gonna do this and get this done, we're gonna go and fight each other. And you just cleaned up um so much time and events for them two to for each other. You don't have to worry about them anymore. They could
Hmm.
just, a year and a half between tag team and singles match, and now okay, they're good to go. And that can
Yeah.
go on for the longest time.
Yeah. We move on to All Elite Wrestling, in which Tony Khan officially revealed AEW
See,
Collision featuring CM Punk.
all right, I gotta find the Michael Jordan letter saying two words. I'm back. Hey man, look, welcome back, kid. I embrace you with open arms. Don't do more bullshit. You have now a second chance again with another big company again. So
Well, I mean, all right. So the AEW Collision revolves. It just doesn't feature. It revolves around CM Punk because there were reports saying that CM Punk and the returning Ace Steel were going to be heavily involved in AEW's Collision creative. So I really don't know if that's indeed true. But the fact that all right, CM Punk is back. I don't know how talent feels about that. I know. Let's put 50%. 50% are cool with CM Punk coming back. Another 50 are like, yeah, I don't
that's
want
okay.
anything to do with it. But I mean, that stems from what happened at the brawl that happened. But I mean, maybe cooler heads prevail,
You
and
have to, otherwise
and
business wouldn't be business. You have to
yes,
move on. You don't have to like each other, but respect each other as individuals to go ahead and move forward. If Chris Jericho could do it, I think everybody else can do the same thing. He's
yeah.
the first
So
one that says like, like we had our beef, but it is what it is. Like we got to go move on from things.
it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. I mean, this is again CM Punk's return, and it takes place in Chicago. Now Tony Khan has officially confirmed it after weeks of speculation. Um, and we'll see who's CM Punk's. I'm If I'm a betting man, we'll obviously we'll see who CM Punk feuds with first. There's a lot of names being thrown out there. There was Samoa Joe. Now,
Yeah, Twisted Metal wraps up, which I hope is a good show.
yeah, as of recently, it's been reported that maybe Jay White.
Jay would be
Um,
nice.
yeah, that would be good. I mean, both of them can kill it on the mic, and obviously, um, they're both super talented. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how CM Punk is in the wrestling ring, like how he moves. He's been battling injuries over the years, so. But again, it's always a cool thing to see CM Punk back. See what happens actually. With
Right.
this new show.
Speaking of guy, okay, so speaking of guy returning, here's a guy preparing to departure. So we've said it for a longest time. One of your favorite, probably if I'm a betting man, I know you as well as I do. Your second favorite wrestler is Sting. If
All
Taker's number
time.
one of all time, Sting. If Taker's one, Sting would be probably two, right?
Yeah.
So I know it's gonna break your heart the fact that we're nearing the very end of Sting's nothing short of stellar career,
Right.
right? So I'll throw you some names that when he does retire, who retires Sting?
Okay.
Okay, Chris Jericho, possible. Would you like to see that? Would you not like to see that?
All right. Yeah, because they have history, WCW history.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't think it. I really don't think it would be Chris Jericho. I mean, I have one name in mind that should be his final match.
A tag team match with FTR,
No.
Malachi Black. That's your boy.
Wow.
And just by
No.
the way Sting has been going on
No, but I
in
wouldn't mind.
no, but yes,
No, but yes.
MJF.
Oh my god, that would be the ultimate like.
You know how much heat MJF would have by taking out Sting?
And it's crazy because I don't think they teased it, but the fact that
There's been like shots put in, nothing like sense, nothing definitive, but like
yeah, I'm gonna go no.
okay. And then the logical answer would be Darby Allen,
Yeah,
the guy who Tony Khan said, "Yo, work with this kid,"
right. So yeah,
and for 3 years he's pretty much built Darby Allen's Darby Allen, but he's not Darby without Sting.
yeah, it makes the most sense.
So that's the logical answer. I was like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. See, I knew once I threw Malachi, like, oh, hold
It
on,
makes the most sense.
time
I
out.
mean, to be honest with you, and a lot of people might hate this. You might want to throw in maybe Jeff Jarrett.
So a lot of ties in WCW, a lot of ties
Not
in
in
Impact.
Impact. Yeah,
There's a lot of options to work with, but
yeah,
it's all Sting, I think Sting's probably done by the end of the year, if not early into next year.
yeah.
But he came on a couple of different multiple reports that he's nearing the end of his career. He sees the light at the end of the tunnel. He's getting close to it. So it's
Right.
like okay,
Um. Then we have so on Dynamite we had a major tease, and I don't know if I think a lot of people picked up on that. Well, I hope, but the fact that backstage you had the Elite Hangman and the Young Bucks, no Omega, uh, discuss their loss, from Double or Nothing, and I thought it was very interesting the fact that Adam Hangman Page said that Kenny Omega left the country, but he didn't go back to Canada. So where did he go? Ladies and gentlemen, I think he went to Japan. It's the most logical reason. I think he went to Japan to recruit Ibushi, to bring in Ibushi to All Elite Wrestling. I think it's been teased that um, the Blackpool Combat Club with Don Callis and his new what would you say, like, protege,
yeah,
you know
grasshopper to well, sensei.
yeah, yeah, Don Callis being that I don't want to say fatherly figure, but well, all right, managing Takeshka. um so that would be the team right there against the team of Hangman, the Elite, Omega, and the debuting Ibushi. I think that's the way to go. Maybe Blood and Guts. Maybe I don't know. I think Blood and Guts makes the most sense here.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think so. I think you do you see how everything pans out, and it just makes sense. You're gonna move everything into that situation, so I'm not really opposed to it. Because like, if you don't do a blood and guts, then when would you do it?
Well, if you don't do Blood and Guts, maybe they want to do a Stadium Stampede match.
That's true too. That's
Yeah,
also
so I mean, they do have two options there. So, they could go with any one of them, but it seems like it's going to, it's going that route. And then the last thing in which it was announced today, I think a lot of people are going to be very, 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 very much into this, and that is two matches being announced for Forbidden Door, two huge matches, and that's Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay and Danielson versus Okada.
now that now we're talking some big hitters here.
Those are two main event caliber matches for Forbidden Door. So right now, Forbidden Door is on fire.
It was good last year.
It was. But remember, like a lot of people were injured last year. Well, Punk was injured. I can't remember. I think they had to cut the match short with Adam Cole because he got injured. I think that's where he suffered the concussion. Um, but with this Forbidden Door, it has a lot of potential. And you know what sucks? That Tony Khan teased that Mercedes Monet might have appeared or might have done something for Forbidden Door, but she recently, broke her ankle, and
I mean,
that
it always sucks because something good happens to Mercedes, Sasha, how you want to go about it. She gets a big, well, you deserved it. You deserve whatever you're getting. She gets what she deserves. And then next thing you know, she gets hurt.
yeah, man,
Or something
this
happens.
is
She's like,
real
oh,
unfortunate.
bro.
Real unfortunate.
Like, how many times did she win a championship in WWE and then she gets hurt or something happens, tag team, someone gets hurt. Get championship,
Yeah.
someone gets hurt.
I mean, listen, I she's one of the best wrestlers alive because she legit like she puts her body on the line. I'm not saying like all of them do, or I mean all of them don't, but it's just her move set allows
High
her to
octane.
be, yeah, it's more risks involved, so which is with risks there's injuries. So but unfortunately, that last injury that she suffered, that was just I think a freak accident,
Yeah,
and
it happens. It's just
it
it's tough.
happens.
It's always like a shitty situation when that happens. It's like you're doing so well, and then this happens. Then you get
Yeah,
back. You do so well, and then that happens. Like, oh, it's tough. And like I think she's at that Rey Mysterio stage where like something good happens, hurt. Nothing good happen, hurt. Like, yo, why 3 ACL surgeries in like 4 years? Like, wait, what's going on with you, bro?
yeah, man.
I just like, ugh. But it'd be like that. But hopefully, nothing but a speedy recovery, which nothing but the best for her, obviously. But it's just, her to appear Forbidden Door would be like,
Oh yeah, it would. And who knows, maybe she shows up in some capacity. um you know Obviously, maybe like a stare down, or a video package, sending a message or a promo or something like that. But who knows, listen, Tony Khan is a guy who's full of surprises. And just starting off with these two matches before Forbidden Door, it's already a
wait,
must
that's match
buy.
1 and 2.
I'm sorry.
That's match 1 and 2 to kick off the night.
No,
Oh,
I'm
I
just
was
saying,
about to
no,
say
those two might
that
be.
would set up a banger
Yeah,
fucking
I
pay per
mean,
view.
they'll be in the card because it's like you figure, all right, with Forbidden Door, MJF is bound to be in a match with who? CM Punk in a match with who?
Right.
Um, you know, uh,
Samoa Joe be in a match because he's got a Ring of Honor championship with them. So
Jay
it's like
White. Jay White has ties with New Japan. Who is he gonna face? It's a
Adam
lot.
Cole,
Adam Cole, the Young Bucks. Um,
Kenny.
well, we know Kenny now, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, who knows?
So
Who
hear me
knows?
out. What if they run it back? Hater and Storm. Hater loses again. Here comes Mercedes Monet into the match to defend Hater, and then Tony Storm versus Mercedes Monet in a match in Japan.
Who knows? Who
You know,
knows? It's just, who
he's like,
knows?
yeah, that's right.
There's so many.
Defend my baby's honor.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities because it's like, all right, New Japan is doing AEW a favor by coming to America and doing Forbidden Door.
Right.
Later on, that favor is going to be repaid by AEW sending a couple of superstars for New Japan, when New Japan has the what's it called, the Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Which we
Oh
see in the past. We've seen Jericho confirms his signing with AEW, but goes to Wrestle Kingdom and wrestles in New Japan. We see that with Omega. We've seen that with Osprey. We've seen it with didn't Brian Danielson go out there? Was he? It
Yeah,
was 2 years ago, right?
it's 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 just well, no. So now it's rumored that he will so he's one of the wrestlers who's rumored to head over there.
Mm-hmm.
But so is I think Eddie Kingston, maybe Omega. Um, I would probably maybe the Young Bucks. They haven't been into Japan in a while, so
Yeah,
AEW is going to repeat the favorite, and this is the beauty of um, the partnership between AEW and New Japan. It's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So, Forbidden Door deal, Wrestle Kingdom deal, and there you
right.
have it.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, but you have a whole lot of things to do, a whole lot of shit to go on with. I don't know. All I know is the Money in the Bank's around the corner, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And I think I might have to head down to you to watch that just because it's fucking Money in the Bank. Like who doesn't? Who says no to Money in the Bank?
Yeah, no, I think Money in the Bank falls into that realm of must watch pay-per-views because it's like, all right, it's the mystery of who's the one to get the next opportunity. So it's like, and it's going to be two ladder matches, both men and women. So it's like, who's going to be retrieve the briefcase? It's like the same, like suspicion of or the same mystery as Royal Rumble. Who's going to win the Rumble? Who's the next one to get that opportunity?
And you don't find out until like the last like 10 wrestlers. Okay, this is where.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
here's the
then
last
and
10. There
that's the
you
thing.
go.
Like within the last week or two before the event takes place, you start kind of like figuring, all right, who they're leaning towards. So I went with an early pick of LA Knight. Who knows if Cody's in there? Maybe it's Cody. Maybe they want to go a different route. For the women's, I'm leaning right now towards maybe Io,
Yeah, I'll
Io
do
or
EO. I
Bailey,
wish you an EO.
either Io
I
or
want to say Montez Ford.
yeah, if he gets another opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that route. If they do like, hey, you want one more shot
Like a
here, jump
second
in for
chance,
this.
like a second chance, yeah.
Yeah, I would stick with that. I think that's a possible. If not, I would like to see Cody. I mean, listen, who says no to Ricochet?
Yeah, yeah,
How long has it been since he actually had something of worth value? You
yeah.
know, but we shall see. But well, we don't have to find out much for them. We'll wait until next week to give our stuff. So that'll do it for us in today's episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. You guys have been more than appreciative tuning in and week out with showing us love, tuning in, and just having a great overall fucking time. Like you can't. Who says no hang out with us? So if you want to catch us on our social media links, you could check us out on our Twitter, Sunset Flip WP. You could check us out on our Instagram at SFW Podcast. As you see here, here's your link tree. Everything to know. Our Discord will be up pretty soon. So if you guys want information on Discord, if you're a wrestler, if you're a fan, if you're just want to talk a bunch of bullshit about wrestling, good, bad, or indifferent, hit us up. The link will be out very shortly. It's still in construction. We're live on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube at the same thing. Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. Tune in. We're there. If you want to check us out on our where to listen to us, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, you name it, we're on it. Westwood One Radio, Sirius, we'll be there soon. Channel, I don't know, Bus Open Radio is like 185. We're on 186. One day we'll get to that point. So we're also live on Anchor, now known as Podcasters. It's free and easy to start up your link. All you need is an email, and that is it. And you are up and live and ready to go. If you want to be able to promote your podcast, we have been using StreamYard for the longest. It's so easy to do with a small nomination fee, and you have it right there for you. If you want to go and use something that's a little bit easier just to have your video calls, we've done it for a while when we first started, and now we're here now. You could just go on Zoom, same thing, a small fee, quick and easy, and you could save and download and have everything set up. All your meetings right there and there. So very simple, very smooth. Just like our podcast, we are up and running very, very well. So, what's the plan for today, Soto? I know Mets play at 1. The finals at 8 o'clock tonight.
Yo, today's it's just a lazy day, man. Today's a lazy day. It's just to kick back, watch some sports, and that's it. Probably
Mets at
game.
1:40. Finals game 2 is at 8 o'clock. I think the Yankees, which by the way, a very good W for you guys. Yes, last night I was gonna call it the back of that. Judge almost blew his shoulder out diving to that fucking fence. The Dodgers trying to kill him. I don't know. Better protect that man at all costs. That's your $400
That's
man.
my captain.
I think they play at 7, so that'd be dope as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you need me, Soto, I'll be on the sticks.
Ah,
I'm ready to go.
sounds good.
You say the word, kid. I'll see you. I'll check you later.
All right, Brody.